Tesla is one of the most valuable automobile manufacturers on the planet. Tesla has continually recruited young talent as some of the most ardent supporters, yet nearly everyone overlooks the company's dark side. How can a corporation that aims to reduce pollution have a negative side? The explanation is that Tesla is solely concerned with money and not with people. Keep watching the video if you want to know more about the shady practices that are allegedly going on behind the giant company Tesla. The 2020 shareholder meeting eloquently encapsulates Tesla's utter lack of concern for human welfare. There are 4 shareholder proposals up for a vote, but 3 of them are regarding the well-being of employees or other laborers. 1. Changes to the bylaws should be made with a simple majority rather than a supermajority. 2. Employee arbitration should be abolished. 3. Protect cobalt miners' human rights. Human rights for miners. We'll start with the final one since it's the worst. Cobalt is a precious heavy metal that is used to make lithium-ion batteries, which are used to power devices such as smartphones and electric automobiles. In the Congo, the world's most prevalent cobalt mining region, there have been multiple, verifiable claims that fundamental human rights are being violated. Not only are there hazardous situations that might result in injury or death, but child labor is also very widespread. In tiny shafts that reach cobalt-rich deposits that are too small for an adult to fit into, child labor is utilized. Cobalt miners face horrific, life-threatening circumstances according to human rights campaigners who have visited the region. Heavy metal is very poisonous and there are little to no safety safeguards in place. Even though the shareholder proposal's representative, Terence Collinsworth, describes children being killed and wounded with multiple limb losses, the board recommends voting against extra monitoring in mining sites that have previously pledged to safeguard human rights. According to eyewitness claims, the mine owners have no intention of changing circumstances, but Tesla refuses to hold anybody responsible for prior strongly worded agreements. Workers' human rights. For years, Tesla has been in the spotlight due to horrible working conditions at its gigaplants, which produce batteries and electric vehicles. Last year, a court determined that Tesla had broken labor regulations by deliberately opposing unionization. A proposal to remove arbitration was presented at the shareholder meeting. For those unfamiliar with arbitration, it is a process in which 2 parties resolve disagreements through a third-party mediator, rather than through a lawsuit. Many businesses hire third-party mediators who are frequently lawyers or former judges to help them reach a fair agreement. Arbitration appears to be an excellent idea on the surface. It offers low legal bills for both parties and a far faster settlement than being locked in court for years. However, the fundamental advantage of forcing workers to arbitrate and prohibiting litigation is that it is private. There are no public records of the corporations committing any wrongdoings. So if someone were discriminated against or sexually harassed at Tesla, they would have to go to arbitration instead of going to court. Defendants may be paid for their suffering, but this generally comes at the cost of their quiet and the sealing of any records to avoid negative publicity. This produces a toxic environment in which pain and suffering are simply covered over rather than addressing the root of the problem. Few former Tesla employees have spoken out against the company, but those who have are confident they are not the only ones who have suffered. Furthermore, factory workers are overworked and devalued, with recent manufacturing sprints to meet tight deadlines forcing some workers to endure 20-hour stints of back-breaking labor to achieve the company's unreasonable claims. Many employees work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Amazon's warehouse workers have been chastised, but Tesla's production workers are treated in the same manner. They were trying to hammer home the point that if you want to work for a firm that will allow you enough time to perform your job, this isn't the place. A former Tesla engineer who preferred anonymity said, "I come from a place where procedure was valued highly, so the time it took Tesla to mention the term process was excessive." According to sources, Tesla underreports injuries to use them as a reason to push staff harder. Elon Musk declared at the company's shareholder meeting in June 2017 that, "We're well on our way to an injury rate that's less than half that of the auto industry." However, reports contradict this assertion, indicating that Tesla has a somewhat higher injury rate than the industry norm. Preventing significant change. Currently, Tesla's corporate practices and human treatment are in desperate need of reform. Unfortunately, the leadership, including Elon Musk, is content to continue ignoring human rights for the sake of business. As a result, it is up to the shareholders to keep management accountable. However, any change to the company's bylaws or processes now require a supermajority vote of shareholders, which must be greater than 66.6%, rather than a simple majority of just over 50%. The extra 16.6% may not seem like much, but it makes a significant impact when nearly 40% of the shareholders do not vote. Last year, the identical proposal to allow changes to the company's structure to be made with a simple majority rather than a supermajority received around 60% support, a majority of shareholders, but with a supermajority was not passed, and the idea failed. We've seen this scenario before, when powerful people manipulate the system in their favor. The most straightforward approach is to acquire the remaining 40% of the vote, but those shares are controlled by Wall Street, which either doesn't care or would never vote for anything that will reduce earnings. Needless to say, the board also advised against this plan. The outcomes speak for themselves. Tesla will continue to turn a blind eye to the tragedies of cobalt mining and just don't care about their employees' well-being, since all shareholder resolutions failed at the 2020 shareholder meeting. What's worse, it doesn't appear like anyone is concerned. Boring, who cares, or Elon knows best were among the remarks posted by Tesla fanboys who watched the live video in anticipation of their messiah, Elon Musk. Unfortunately, the media paid little attention to this, instead focusing on Battery Day, an event arranged by Elon Musk to showcase future technology in order to divert attention away from the shareholder meeting. The majority of people who just know Tesla as the world's top EV firm have no idea what Tesla has done or will accomplish in the future. But that's because they spend so much time and effort covering up the trail paved with bodies that led to their success. As EV use becomes more general, Tesla is predicted to increase. Tesla has put in a great deal of time and effort to guarantee that they can continue to operate as they choose, and the human cost of being Tesla is usually overlooked. Make no mistake, when Tesla gets bigger, it will not suddenly start caring about people. Instead, the problem will simply get greater. There we have it, which brings us to the end of today's video. So, what do you think about Tesla now? Do you think that Tesla should change its practices? Please leave your answers in the comment section below. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel, Tesla News Hangout, where we talk about Tesla and electric vehicles. While you're at it, hit the bell so you never miss any of our videos, as more exciting ones like this are on the way. In the next one, I'll see you.